It's no secret that I've been a voice tools hater for many years. But recently, I've had my mind changed. Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher. You may be wondering, Renee, why are you a voice tools hater? What did voice tools ever do to you? Or what the heck is voice tools? I'm new to my trans voice practice and I've never even heard of that app. Or if you're such a hater, why are you even talking about voice tools? Today, I'm going to go through the voice tools app with you and answer all of your questions in this video, so stick around. I might even teach you how to use it in a new way.
Well, that should be telling me gravity doesn't exist.
Well, you can't see it. How do you know?
Also, let's do the voice hygiene version of a drinking game. Take a sip of water every time I say voice tools. So far, I think we're up to 7.
Hydrate before you dihydrate.
All right, so what is voice tools? Voice Tools is a popular phone app from Dev Extras that trans people use as a feedback and analysis tool when working on altering the perceived gender of their voice. Dev Extras describes it as an iOS/Android app for transgender voice therapy with pitch, volume, and tone analysis. Let's take a look together at what this app offers. So here we are in Voice Tools. The free version of this app is ad-supported, but I upgraded for $12.99 to remove ads for this video. When you first download and open Voice Tools, the first screen you see is this pitch analyzer. You have the pitch in frequency, measured in hertz or inverse seconds on the left. And the app has labeled which frequencies correspond with a female voice, a male voice, and an androgynous voice. Along the bottom, they have provided you with sample sentences. What you're meant to do is say the sentences out loud, see where your voice lies on the frequency graph, and then hit this red button to replay what you just said. The app is always recording, but a pop-up notification indicates that they delete recordings right away. You can, of course, say whatever you want and replay it. You don't have to use the sample sentences. Voice Tools recommends you use headphones with a good microphone and work in a quiet place. The next screen is also a pitch analyzer, but unlike the graph on the first page, this one is more like a guitar tuner. You can hold the pitch and it will tell you what it is in both frequency and music notes. This page can also provide you with a tone that you can copy if you press an individual note. And like our pitch analyzer graph, it is also color-coded to correspond specific pitches to female, male, and androgynous voices. Our third page is a decibel meter, which measures volume. Like on the first page, you're given sample sentences to speak and you can replay them and measure their volume in decibels.
How many decibels will we give them?
I had a little trouble with accuracy on this page. I don't know if it's an issue with my phone in particular, but after using it for a while, it seemed like microphone compression became an issue, and the decibel meter dropped my background noise readout from 40 decibels to 10 decibels, and then all my recordings were reading is a lot quieter, so your mileage may vary here. Our fourth page is the Analyze page. Here you are given the rainbow passage. Unlike on the other pages, you have to hit record first, read out the text or say whatever you like, and it will give you a results page that analyzes your pitch and volume and also gives you a percent female and male.
When the sunlight strikes rainbows in the air, they act as a prism and form a rainbow.
Stop me if you're sensing a theme here.
During testing, I read out the rainbow passage and got 36% female and 46% male. We don't get a percentage androgynous on this screen, unfortunately. If we click on More, we get a few more screen options from here. First, the spectrogram. Like the pitch and volume screens, this allows you to read out and play back sample sentences and see them displayed on the spectrogram, which gives us more information about the amplitude of formant frequencies that we don't get when we're looking at only the fundamental frequency on the pitch screen. Then there's the statistics page, which I guess is meant to evolve with you as a user and is something you can come back to and check up on over time. But you can also record and play back sample sentences on this page.
It's from
Fire.
from
Heat.
And lastly, we have the settings, which allows you to change the recording length, toggle different reminders on and off, add custom phrases, edit the rainbow passage on the Analyze screen, and change how the pitch page looks, which we will get into in more detail later in this video. So by now, you may have already guessed my problem with Voice Tools. But surprise, I actually have 3 problems. Problem 1, the distribution of pitch by gender. The way pitch is displayed on the pitch analyzer in Voice Tools makes it seem like there are separate bands of frequency for feminine sounding voices, masculine sounding voices, and androgynous voices. But in reality, it's just not that simple.
Hammer time.
If we look at the range of pitches described in the voice book for trans and non-binary people, a practice guide to creating and sustaining authentic voice and communication, we see that these notes are typically read as masculine, and these notes are typically read as feminine. We can see that there is this huge overlapping area where a voice could be perceived as feminine or masculine or neutral depending on other factors, and that is these notes. But even this is too simplified. According to the paper, The Speaking Voice in the General Population, Normative Data and Associations to Sociodemographic and Lifestyle Factors, the results of pitch studies depend on so many factors. Speaking voice pitch ranges change if you're speaking softly, having a normal conversation, using a classroom voice, or shouting to be heard. They also change based on the participant's age, socioeconomic status, and whether or not they smoke.
Please, don't.
Also, standards have changed a lot in the past 50 years, especially for women's voices. According to the paper, Updated Acoustic Normative Data Through the Lifespan, a Scoping Review, previous research found that women aged 18 to 25 had a lowering of SF0 from 1945 to 1993 from 229 Hz to 206 Hz respectively. Our results indicated similar findings with an average mean SF0 reported as 205.21 Hz for women aged 18 to 29. This supports the claim that women's voices have continued to lower in pitch over time. Now, for reference, 205 Hz is basically the lowest point on the voice tool's feminine range. So even if you do believe that there is one true pitch range for women, which I do not, I think it's lower than the default in this app.
Oh, it's too high.
So, as you can see, voice tool's color coding of discrete frequency ranges and notes does not really reflect the nuance of human speech. Now, if your voice goals and instrument fully align with voice tools, you may think that this is kind of pedantic on my part. But this can lead to students downplaying the progress they've made in modifying their pitch when they find it doesn't align with voice tools' prescriptive ideas of gender. So at the very least, you should know this going in. Problem 2, overemphasizing pitch. In trans voice training, pitch is a tool that we can use for changing the perceived gender of our voice. But say it with me! It does not have the greatest effect on the perceived gender of our voice. As we saw a moment ago, there is a lot of overlap between the average pitches of feminine and masculine perceived voices, but they can still be differentiated, so how is this happening? The answer is resonance.
You again.
In my videos and courses, I define resonance as the brightness and darkness of an individual pitch, but some people prefer to think of it as vocal space, or the smallness and largeness of the vocal tract. Whatever you call it, resonance has the largest impact on the perceived gender of a voice. But unfortunately, it's notoriously hard to measure using simple feedback tools. The only way to measure resonance is with a spectrogram. And while Voice Tools does have a spectrogram, it's hidden in more and doesn't provide you with any guidance on how to read the output.
It was problematic.
I will talk about this a little bit more later in the video, but for now, let's look at my third problem with this app. Problem 3, the gender analysis tool. This is the worst problem of the bunch, in my opinion. When you finish recording yourself reading the text in the Analyze page, you're presented with a pink circle and a blue circle that tell you the percentage female and male your voice is. I tried it the other day and I got 36% female and 46% male. This doesn't add up to 100%, so I guess I'm also 18% androgynous.
What do you want from me? It's not what I want from you, but what you want from me.
It's obvious that these percentages are based on how much time your pitch spent in each of their prescribed frequency bands. But to translate that as a percent female or male voice is beyond irresponsible, and I've seen in real time what these percentages can do to the confidence of a trans voice student relying on them.
Hammer time?
Okay, those are some pretty damning issues. But at the beginning of this video, I said that I have been a hater of voice tools for many years, but that my mind has recently been changed, and that is true. I now feel like there are some good and helpful use cases for voice tools. You just have to make sure that you know what it's doing by default and how to get around that. Let me show you how I use it with my students. Recommendation 1, toggle off the gender markers and choose your own target. First things first, Go to Settings and under Pitch, toggle off Show Gender Markers. Now, when you go to the pitch screen, you'll see that the pink and blue bands are gone. Hooray! Unfortunately, this won't turn off the color coding on the tone screen or the analyze screen, but it's a good start. Then, back in the settings and under pitch, you're going to toggle on Show Target. Now if we go back to the pitch screen, we have a green band showing our target range. You can adjust the low and high values of the target range in settings as well. Choosing your target range should be a very personal and ever-changing process. You could use the pitch screen to figure out where you're currently speaking and then set a target range slightly above or slightly below and slowly practice getting closer to your goal. Or you could record the voice of someone you admire and figure out their pitch range and copy them. Your optimal pitch range is going to depend on your age, your language, your personality, and so much more. So take the time it takes to do your research. Once you are working with a target range, you can then use the pitch analyzer to help you stay inside that band. Recommendation 2, use the spectrogram for exercises, not for speech. As I mentioned, the only way to measure resonance is with a spectrogram, but spectrograms are notoriously hard to read when you're just speaking into them. Instead, you can practice exercises that hold the pitch steady but change the resonance.
Ah, oh, ah, oh, ah, oh.
Here, I can tell that pitch is staying stable because the line on the bottom is flat at one frequency, but I can see that something else is happening by seeing which formants are brighter. You can also do unvoiced exercises like big dog, little dog, and observe the change between those two sounds on the spectrogram while ensuring that you're not accidentally adding a pitch.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
I know this is a pretty complicated subject, so if there's a lot of interest, I could create a more detailed video on how to use spectrograms in general for your resonance practice. Let me know in the comments. Recommendation 3, never use the Analyze tool. This isn't so much a recommendation as an anti-recommendation, but the Analyze tool is not the arbiter of gender.
I'm the arbiter and my decision is final.
I am not 36% female and 46% male. I am 100% Renee. And my voice changes throughout the day and throughout my life. In trans voice work, the goal should not be to please a computer. Though if this video is being viewed in 2969, know that I welcome our agender robot overlords and their gender doctrine with open arms. But barring that, your goal should be to please yourself. If you're looking for a way to measure your progress over time, instead, record yourself saying the same sentence every week or every month so that you have something to listen back to and you can tell how far you've come. Here's an example of my student Dolly J doing exactly that.
Hello, it's Dolly, and this is what my voice sounds like at the beginning of my voice feminization journey. I don't want realism, I want magic. 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 I don't want realism, I want magic.
Or if listening to yourself is too dysphoria-inducing, I've created a progress measuring tool called the Trans Voice Emotions Evaluator that requires no recordings at all, and it's available for free right now in my freebies library. So there you have it. I hope this video isn't too controversial, but these are my feelings and they had to be said. I'd like to thank Quinn from Quintessential Voice Lessons, as well as AC Goldberg and Ruchi Kapila from Trans Voice Initiative for helping to change my mind about voice tools. And thank you to Claire Henderson for providing consultation for this video. Oh, and that reminds me, let's see our final hydration count. 22! You should be well hydrated now.
Total body hydration.
If you liked what you saw today, please like the video and subscribe for more trans voice education information. And if you want to go deeper on this journey, join my free webinar where we'll cover everything from basic techniques to voice personalization strategies. Sign up now by clicking the link below. That's all for today. I've been Renee, and I hope this helps. There's now drilling happening. This is a tough day.
Yeah, truly is cursed.
It really is. For many years. Hold on. Hello? Then there's the... Let me just restart from there.
Yeah.
Then there's the... Then there's the statistics. I was so mad. Then we have the statistics page. Wow, 42% female that time.
What? I thought it was. That's so fun. I'm a cisgender.
I don't understand what the. Like, now I'm actually confused.